Good morning, students. I have been back into action to deal with the rest part of your fourth unit, Everything I Need to Know I Learned in the Forest. Now I am going to remind you about what I taught you the other day. In our previous class, I spoke about the rights of nature on the global stage. In the present context of the rights of nature on the global stage, what did we get to see is that one, nature turned to be a teacher preaching many lessons to the human beings. We found ourselves in a position to go all along with the nature only. Without nature, we couldn't survive on this earth. So, we put ourselves in a position to recognize the services that were given by the nature as we were gifted by her. And we require to find and recognize the rights of nature also. In this way, for the first time in the history of the world, the country Ecuador, which was a part of South America, recognized and adopted the rights of nature in its constitution. In the year of 2011, United Nations General Assembly got an inspiration from the country Ecuador as it adopted the rights of nature in its constitution. This influenced a lot on United Nations General Assembly, and the world witnessed the Universal Declaration of the Rights of Mother Earth taken by Bolivia. Bolivia is also the name of the country which introduced the Declaration of the Rights of Mother Earth for the first time. These two countries, Bolivia and Ecuador, as they took an initiation to recognize the rights of nature and Mother Earth, impacted or influenced a lot on the United Nations General Assembly. So, United Nations General Assembly organized one of the conference where many leaders gathered together to have deliberations on the topic of harmony with nature. We the people required to go all along with the nature as a part of Earth Day celebrations. Much of the discussions or deliberations were all about the ways to transform the systems based on the domination of people over nature. Since the ages, it had been witnessed by the people of this earth that the people exploited the nature due to the industrialization, globalization and privatization. In order to get an advantage from the nature, the people discriminated the nature and men over women. It was observed that as we are living our life in the male dominated society, the group of men in the society are exploiting women even today in most of the countries. It has been witnessed by us that women are subjected to the exploitation by the group of men, and rich over poor, the elite group of the people are exploiting the poor by using them into a new systems based on the partnership. The society gets developed, a country gets developed when all the works are done based on the partnership. So, we people need to find ourselves to go based on the partnership only. And later, we moved on to another paragraph where we learned many things. When we got to know about the UN Secretary General's report, what was written in that report is that harmony with nature, it was issued in conjunction with the conference. When the conference was held by United Nations General Assembly, much of the deliberations were made in that conference by the leaders. What was issued in that conference is that harmony with the nature. We need to co-create with the nature and go all along with the nature. Much of the deliberations were all about this harmony with the nature, which means in another sense we can say that people must find themselves in the position to co-create, and they must live their life with coordination with other living beings or other living organisms in their environment. It elaborates, this conference elaborates on the importance of reconnecting with the nature. I told you people earlier that we the people of this earth exploited the nature since many ages. So, we need to put an end to this exploitation. So, in this conference, many leaders talked about the importance of reconnecting with the nature. We need to reconnect or build a relationship with the nature. That is the position that we are in today. And finally, environmentally, we cultivated the behavior of the destruction in us, which means we led ourselves to destruct the whole nature environmentally. As the people started going to the forest to cut the trees, we were the reason for the destruction of the trees in the forest. So, this destructive behavior that we kept in us became the result of our failure in understanding that the human beings were the inseparable part of the nature. We failed to understand one more important thing, that is, we were the inseparable part of this nature. We couldn't be able to understand this fact that we couldn't be apart from the nature. So, I insisted you people earlier that we require to go all along with the nature. We lead our life very happily with the nature only, as we are directed by the nature. We couldn't damage ourselves without severely damaging ourselves too. We the people couldn't damage the nature without being damaged ourselves. And later we were introduced about the concept of separatism, where the concept of distinctness or otherness can be made into account. Here, separatism, which means the people start living their life apart from other people in the society. In short, or in a brief, or in a word, we can say that it is a distinctness or otherness. It was in reality at the root of disharmony with the nature. Today, we the people start living our life away from the nature. We the people in the primitive ages or in the pre-industrial revolution believe that we are an inseparable part of the nature. We can't at all be divided from the nature. We need to live our life in the nature only. This was the belief we kept in our mind for a long time. But as we put our foot into this modernized world, we find ourselves in a position to go away from this nature as we exploit the nature, finding the necessity of cutting the trees. So, the word separatism came into existence in the society of human being. This separatism was indeed at the root. It was deep rooted in us. The word separatism, which means living our life away from the nature, was deep rooted in us only. It led or lived its life with the concept of disharmony, where we found no support from any other people. So, we the people started living our life away from the nature. In this way, separatism came into presence among the people of this world, and violence against the nature. We violated nature using violence, which means we, the people, started getting an advantage from the nature in order to get many advantages by cutting the trees to get the woods or furnitures. And the violence against the people also is a separatism. This is how the word separatism came into presence among the people. Later, Vandana Shiva mentioned Vandana Shiva supported her previous statement, citing the example or an instance taking the environmentalist who was a South African called Cormac Cullinan. What he mentioned in his saying is that he introduced the word apartheid, which meant to be separateness indeed. The word apartheid was in existence in South Africa, which was a country of Africa. The word apartheid means separateness. The whole world joined its hands together to put an end to this separateness. Here, what I am trying to tell you people is that the whole world joined its hands by giving their support to put an end to the concept of separatism. Here, this separatism was the part of the South Africa, where people followed this separatism on the basis of color complexion based on their color of their body or physical gesture, physical or color complexion, color of their physique, or we can say color of their skin. So, the whole world came together in support of anti-apartheid movement, which means against the concept of separatism. The whole world was against this separatism, to put an end to follow this separatism. So, all the world brought an end to this concept of separatism, and soon after, the whole world witnessed the anti-apartheid movement to put an end to this separatism. Nowadays or currently, apartheid or separateness in Africa, or especially in South Africa, was put behind us, which means it disappeared from South Africa. Nowhere we couldn't find where people following this separatism on the basis of color complexion, saying you are white and you are black. Today we need to overcome from this wider and deeper apartheid, but still we the people keep a notion in us, that is there is no need to live our life with the nature, so we start exploiting the nature. This is what we call apartheid in the context of the nature. So, we the people find ourselves in the position to overcome or come out from the wider and deeper apartheid which we keep in us, which is deep rooted in us. An eco-apartheid based on the illusion. And here, an eco-apartheid, which means we the people of this world live our life away from the nature. This is what we call eco-apartheid. This is an illusion that we keep in us only, which is deep rooted in us very thoroughly. So, we need to come out from this illusion of separateness of humans from the nature. Especially, we need to take this illusion away from our minds and lives as well. This is the point where I stopped teaching you people in our previous class. Let all of us make a move on to the another concept where we are introduced by Vandana Shiva about the dead earth world view. The word dead earth itself suggests us about the earth when it gets transformed into a dead, which means since many ages, especially in the primitive ages, we the people believe that the earth is a prolific one. Whatever we have sown the seeds into the ground or into the earth, we get an advantages, which means whatever the seeds are sown into the ground, we will get a crop out of the ground. But today, due to the globalization, capitalism, privatization and industrial revolution, we exploit the nature. So there is nothing left in the earth. There is no use that we get out of this earth today. So the whole earth which nurtures human beings earlier, which nourishes every living creature on this earth, now turns to be a dead earth. This is how the whole world looks at it, which means the perspective or the way how we look at the earth now becomes a dead one. The way how we look at the nature or the earth is nothing but a dead one, which means that is not the word dead lies in us only, but the whole earth transforms into a dead. There is no use that we get out of the earth. This is the title, The Dead Earth Worldview suggests us. Let's go from the very first line. What is told by Vandana Shiva to our readers is that the war against the earth began with this idea of separateness. I told people earlier that the idea of separateness came into presence among the people, which means distinctness. The word distinctness comes into presence, comes into existence among all the people in the entire world. When this concept of separatism came into existence among the people started living their life away from the nature. From then on, since then, we the people wage a war against the earth. This is what our Vandana Shiva is trying to tell our readers over here. When we the people or human being wage a war or battle against the earth, we live our life away from the nature and the earth. We, the people, wage a war against this earth. This concept began with the idea of separateness. Earlier, I told you people all about the separateness, where we live our life away from the nature, away from the environment which we live our life in. But the word distinctness or separateness, when it goes inside us, it has created some notions in us that there is no use that we get out of this nature and from the earth as well. So the people start waging a war or battle against this earth. So we the people dig this earth to get minerals, golds, mines and many other things from the womb of this earth to get the advantage for the sake of us only. So the word or term separateness is all the reason for the existence of the battle against the earth. Its contemporary seeds were sown when the living earth was transformed into dead matter. Its contemporary seeds. Here, the word contemporary seeds refer to the word of separateness, which means the seeds of separateness were sown or placed or put into the living earth, which means the word separateness is deep rooted in us, which means we the people nowadays believe that there is no use at all that we get out of this earth. As I told you people earlier, we get no advantage from this earth after getting extracted many things from this earth. So in this present era or in the modern days that we live our life in today, the word separateness is the seeds of separateness are sown or placed or put when the living earth was transformed into a dead matter. When we place the seeds of separateness into this living earth, is that when the whole earth gets transformed into a dead matter. Which means, I told people earlier on speaking about the dead earth worldview, which is the title of this concept. I told people earlier that the whole earth gets changed into a dead matter where we get no use from this earth. When the whole earth was in transition into a dead matter only to facilitate the industrial revolution. Why we the people exploit this whole earth is that only to facilitate or what we call to make our things very easier. That's what we call facilitate. To make many things easier, to carry some actions which helps to grow the industrial revolution. We the people turns this earth into a dead matter. This is all about how the earth gets transformed or changed into a dead matter only to make the things easier in the industrial revolution. Here, the word revolution that describes is all about the drastic changes that appear in the industry. The drastic changes or the dramatic changes that appear in the industry only to get benefited from the industry and to develop it. We the people turn the whole earth, which was in the primitive ages a prolific one, which was a lively one, which was a very which was very enthusiastic one, turned into a dead matter later, only to develop the industrial revolution. Monocultures replaced diversity. For this reason, as we have seen so far, monocultures, which means in our previous class we got to see the meaning of this word monoculture, which means the practice of growing only a crop in a single year. Only a single crop is grown in a year is called monoculture. This monoculture takes the place of diversity, where we can grow varieties of crops in a year, which means this becomes as a substitute in the place of diversity. And here, which means what I am trying to tell you people is that in a year we the people grow varieties of crops, but monoculture has taken the place of this diversity, where we can grow only a single crop in a year. Due to the development of industrial revolution, industrial revolution enables the monoculture to take the substitution form against this diversity. In this way, monocultures becomes the substitution of this diversity. Raw materials and dead matter replaced the vibrant earth. And here, the raw materials, which means raw materials in a sense, these are the basic materials. Raw materials are basic materials that we need to produce something new in our industry. That's what we call. These are the raw materials, are the fundamental things that we need to produce something new in the form of a product. So these raw materials and the dead matter in essence, I told people earlier that the whole earth turns to be a dead matter. There is no use that we get out of this earth. So the whole earth turns to be a dead matter after digging out everything from the womb of the mother in the form of gold, minerals and many things. So raw material and dead matter come into presence on this earth. Both of them replaced the vibrant earth. Earlier, before this pre-industrial revolution, the earth was the vibrant one, where we could get to see the earth was full of what we call earth was in a prolific. Earth could give us everything, whatever we had a song into the earth. It gifted us many things in the form of crops. But nowadays, this earth gets transformed into a dead matter. Both of them replaced or substituted the vibrant earth over here. And instead of vibrant earth, terra nullius, which means the empty land ready for occupation regardless of the presence of indigenous people, replaced terra madre, which means mother earth. Here, what our Vandana Shiva tells a reader is that she introduces the word terra nullius, which is in the language of Spanish, which means empty land. The word terra nullius tells us all about the empty land, which means to be said as empty land ready for occupation. And here, occupation in a sense, a person's job, a person who takes his occupation forward, one who takes his job forward. This is what we call occupation. Regardless of the presence of indigenous people. Here, regardless in the sense irrespective of the presence of indigenous in the sense native people all across our India, at every nook and corner of India, the people live their life as a residents or inhabitants of that certain place. That's what we call indigenous people. Though they live their life very happily, doing many things and carrying out many agricultural things on their own land that is possessed by them, regardless or irrespective of those native people, this empty land after getting a dead matter. When the whole earth gets transformed into a dead matter, it takes the place of this terra madre, regardless of the indigenous people, one who live as the residents of a certain place or an area, which means terra nullius takes the place of terra madre, which is Mother Earth. Mother Earth is everything to us. It gives us everything. We get many advantages from this Mother Earth, but this Mother Earth turns to be an empty land, and this empty land becomes a deserted land, which we get nothing in. This become a land for the occupation, irrespective of the presence of the native people in the locality with whom the word indigenous is associated. This is all about how the whole earth, which was earlier a Mother Earth, got transformed into a dead matter over here. Let's make a move onto our next slide. This philosophy goes back to Francis Bacon, who was called the father of modern science. Here, what do we get to see is that here, this philosophy goes back to Francis Bacon. Here, it was the Francis Bacon, one who was considered as the father of modern science. All the philosophy, which means the philosophy is a area of subject in which the people believe how to live their life. This is a personal belief of the people. Philosophy is all about a personal belief of the people about how to live their life. This is all about the philosophy. The meaning that is associated with the word is, as I told you people earlier, how to live our life. It goes back to Francis Bacon. Here we are introduced to a scientist who is Francis Bacon, called as a father of modern science, who said that science and the inventions that result do not merely exert a gentle guidance over nature course. Here, what do we get to see is that, who said that? Francis Bacon earlier said that science and inventions. Now we are in the age of science and inventions. Many inventions were made in this present era, or in this present modern day. Many inventions are made. Science and inventions that do not merely exert a gentle guidance over nature course. In the nature course is nothing but many things happen in the nature every day. All the processes are in an action. We can get to see many actions are occurring or happening in the nature. But as we live our life in this modernized world, science and inventions are in the actions, which means both of them are developed a lot. Even the communication, we are in the age of communication. Communication also gets developed a lot. So, science and inventions that result do not merely exert in the sense exercise. Science and inventions not only they exercise a gentle guidance over nature's course. We the people not only get an advantage from the science and inventions, besides we get many disadvantages from the science and inventions that we have witnessed today, which means what our Vandana Shiva trying to tell our readers is that we the people today not only we get the advantages from this science and inventions, but science and inventions they do not exercise. They do not give only a guidance over the nature's actions. As I told you people earlier, every day we can see many actions are going on in our nature. So, certainly we the people get many guidance from this science and inventions. We get many lessons how to live our life with the nature from this science and inventions. Science and inventions only enable all of us to go all along with the nature, and both of them guide all the things that are happening in our nature. They have the power to conquer. Not only science and inventions guide the nature's actions, they have the power to conquer. Both the science and inventions that we have witnessed in our society have the power to conquer everything. On this earth, both of them can have the power in them to conquer. Conquer in the sense they can put everything down under science and inventions on this earth. So, science and inventions can defeat everything. That is what we call very forcibly. After applying our knowledge using science and inventions, they have the power in their hand to conquer or what we call possess everything or climb everything by using their power over nature's course and subdue her. And they can subdue or defeat the nature. It's what we call subdue. Both science and inventions can defeat our earth using their power that they have in their hand, and they can also shake her in a sense, shake her to our foundations. Even the foundations of the roots of the earth are shaken, completely shaken by the science and inventions. Not only they guide the nature course or actions, they can also conquer it and defeat earth, and also shake or can create a tremor in the root and foundations of the earth. This is what do we get to see in the present context of this paragraph. Let's make a move on to our next slide. As a philosopher and historian, here we are given a name of Caroline Marchand, who was a philosopher in a sense, a person who studies philosophy very rationally, using the scientific way, and a historian, which means a person who studies history, using his knowledge that he gains in him. Here, we are introduced to a philosopher or a historian, namely Caroline Marchand. What he mentions is that this shift of perspective from nature as a living, nurturing mother to inert, dead and manipulable matter. Here, what is Caroline Marchand trying to tell is that this shift in the sense a transition, which means from one condition to another one. That's what we call a shift. This shift of perspective, which means the view that we have in us, the way how we look at the things is a perspective. This shift of perspective, here the way we look at the things is changed in us nowadays. The way we cultivated in the primitive age or in the earlier age is different from the way that we adopt in us today. Which means the perspective or view that we look, that we glance at things is very different from the earlier ages. This is what we call the shift from nature as a living. Earlier, how do we look at the nature is that as a living one. Whatever we have sown into the ground or into the earth, we certainly or obviously get an advantage in the form of the crops or in the form of plants or trees. Earlier, it was a perspective or view that we kept in us. That is how we tend to look at the nature. Nature as a living one. Earlier, we look at the nature as a living one and a nurturing mother, which means nurturing mother. The mother earth was a nurturing one, which means it can cause to grow something out of the mother earth. It can help to grow something. It can help us to grow something anew out of this earth. This is what we call nurture. In another word, we can say that it can help us to take care of everything that is grown on the mother earth. It helps us to grow something. That's what we call nurturing mother. And inert in the sense here nurturing mother becomes an inert one. Inert one in the sense it is unable to move onto another place. Here, earlier the mother gives us everything in the form of crops, but nowadays it is unable to move, which means it can't be able to give us in the form of a crop or everything that we need today. She turns into an inert one and a dead one. She, which means earth, now becomes a dead one. There is no use that we get out of this earth. She turns to be a dead one and manipulable matter. Here we can easily manage this earth. Today, we the people can take control of this earth. That's what we call manipulate. We the people manipulate the whole earth by using science and technology and inventions in the age in which we live our life. So, manipulable matter. We live our life in the age where we can take control of everything. using this science and technology. This is what we call manipulable matter. We the people take control of this earth. That's what we call manipulable. As was well suited to the activities that would lead to capitalism. Capitalism is a system where an economy gets involved in it. It is such a system. Here, in this capitalism, the capitalistic persons who are rich in their economy can invest their money to get advantage or to gain more money. By using their money or the possessions that they have, by using them, they get most of it for getting more advantage. So, all these things, inert, dead and manipulable matter are fit or most fit to the activities that are involved in a capitalism, which takes us to the economic sector, where the economy is of more value in this capitalism. The domination images created by Bacon and other leaders of the scientific revolution replaced those of the nurturing earth. And here, Bacon and many other leaders of scientific revolutions, but the names of the leaders of the scientific revolution are not given over here. Along with our Bacon, many other leaders of scientific revolution have joined their hands with him to create some domination images over this nature and earth and an environment. And these scientists have created some domination images, which means these scientists said that the science and inventions take control of the Mother Earth. Some domination images have been created by them only to take control of this Mother Earth. Thus, in this way, some domination images have been created by Bacon and many other leaders of scientific revolution, one who get involved in it, and those domination images replaced those of nurturing earth. Earlier, we believe that earth was nurturing all of us. All the living species of this earth were nurtured by this earth, which means we were taken care of by this earth. But these domination images, which were created by Bacon and many leaders of this scientific revolution, took place of the nurturing earth, removing a cultural constraint on the exploitation of nature. And the cultural constraint in a sense, restraint on the exploitation of nature. Since many ages, we have been witnessing the fact that we the people, to get benefited from the nature, we exploit our nature. So, the cultural restraint or constraint has been removed only to exploit the nature. One doesn't readily slay a mother. Here, a person didn't dare to slay or kill. Slay means to be said as kill. A person didn't dare to kill a mother, dig into her entrails for gold. Entrails, in a sense, the inward things that we see in the earth. A person didn't dare to slay or kill his mother earth, dig into her entrails for gold. These golds are hidden, or they are the treasures of this earth. They are inside or involved inside of this earth. That's what we call entrails. They are the treasures of this earth. They are seen under or underneath the ground. So, we the people, to get them out of the ground, we extract, which means we start digging into her entrails for gold. To get the gold out of this earth, we start digging the womb of this earth and to mutilate her. Mutilate, which means what we call to destroy her. A person didn't dare to destroy our mother earth completely, which means earlier, before this science and inventions were made, a person didn't dare to dig the mother earth to get the gold, minerals and many things that he wanted, and destroy the whole earth only to get advantage out of this earth. Before the pre-industrial revolution, before inventions were made. But when all these inventions, science and technology and communications were introduced in this modern age, we the people started exploiting this nature only to get benefited out of the womb of this mother earth. This is all about our Vandana Shiva. Vandana Shiva's concept of the dead earth world view. This is how she describes about how the dead earth turns into a dead matter. This is how we the people look at the earth nowadays. Dear students, let us make a stop over here. The rest part of this lesson will be dead in our very next class. I thank you all for listening to me all through the way. Thank you.